Hello students, welcome to e-learning program. I am Sunil Ekar from HAL English Medium School, Ozar Township, Ozar. Now today we are going to learn 8th standard history, lesson number 7, non-cooperation movement. Okay, now let's start. In the Indian national movement, the period from 1920 to 1947 is known as the Gandhian era. After the death of Lokmanya Tilak in 1920, the reins of national movement went into the hands of Mahatma Gandhi. He gave a new direction to the freedom movement with the principles of truth, non-violence and Satyagraha. Due to the influential leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, the national movement became more comprehensive. This led to the beginning of the new era in the freedom movement of India. Now you know it very well. 1920 to 1947 is known as Gandhian era. Okay. After the death of Lokmanya Tilak in 1920, the national movement went into the hands of Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, and Mahatma Gandhi gave the direction to freedom movement with the principle of very important principles are there, that is truth, non-violence and Satyagraha is there. Okay, now what is the role of Mahatma Gandhi in South Africa? The role of Mahatma Gandhi in South Africa. Mahatma Gandhi went to South Africa for some legal work in 1893. South Africa was a colony of the British. Many Indians had settled there for business, trade and such other work. The Indians in South Africa were treated as criminals and humiliated at all times. In 1906, the government declared that it was compulsory for the blacks to carry an identity card and their freedom was restricted as well. Gandhiji followed the path of Satyagraha against the injustice and gained justice for the people. Okay, now in this first paragraph you can understand it. After the death of Lokmanya Tilak in 1920, Gandhiji took over the reins of Indian freedom struggle. Then period between 1920 to 1947 is known as Gandhian era, and then Indian national movement with the principle of truth, non-violence and Satyagraha. He gave new direction to the freedom movement. It became more comprehensive. Okay, now Gandhiji work in South Africa. What is the role of Gandhiji in South Africa? Many Indians had settled in South Africa for the purpose of trade and business. You know it very well. Okay, we have seen there. They were treated as criminals and humiliating treatment was meted to them. In 1906, government declared that it was compulsory for blacks to carry identity card. Is very important thing is there, okay, and it is very dangerous. Gandhiji launched Satyagraha against this injustice and gained justice for the people. Okay, now Gandhiji arrives in India. On 9th January 1915, Gandhiji returned to India from South Africa as suggested by Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Gopal Krishna Gokhale was the guru of Mahatma Gandhi, and just as suggested by the Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Gandhiji returned to the India from South Africa. He became sad looking at the misery and poverty of the people. He took up vow of service to the nation. He traveled all the nation, and whatever he has seen, Mahatma Gandhi has seen, that is the misery and poverty of the people. He was very sad. He stayed at Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad. You know very well where Mahatma Gandhi was stayed, okay, lived. That is the Sabarmati Ashram is there in Ahmedabad. He followed a new techniques of Satyagraha to gain justice for common people, and new technique of Satyagraha he gained for the justice of the common people. Philosophy of Satyagraha. What is the philosophy of Satyagraha? Gandhiji brought in a novel technique of Satyagraha in the popular movement. Satyagraha means insistence of truth. Very important thing is there. What is Satyagraha? That is the insistence of truth. The main objective of Satyagraha is through patience and Satyagraha, an unjust person is made aware of truth and justice and also bring transformation in his views. A person following Satyagraha should never use violence and untruth means. Those who are following Satyagraha should never the use of violence and untruth was the teaching of Mahatma Gandhiji. Later, not only in India but in many parts of the world, people adopted the path of Satyagraha to fight against the injustice. It is very good thing is there, a very important thing is there, very proudable thing is there. That is whatever Mahatma Gandhiji has taught us, that is Satyagraha, truth, non-violence. These principles adopted a lot of people of the world to fight against injustice. Gandhiji's path of Satyagraha made an impact of Martin Luther King, who was struggling for the rights of the black in America, as well as on Nelson Mandela in South Africa. Very great thing is there, the Martin Luther King, who was the president of United States of America, who also adopted this principle of Mahatma Gandhi for the struggling for the rights of the black in America. And Nelson Mandela from South Africa, he was also adopted this path, that is the Satyagraha, non-violence and truth for the black people in the South Africa. He was imprisoned for near about 29 years for the rights of the black people. And at last, you know it very well, Nelson Mandela became the president of South Africa. Very great thing is, very great achievement of the Nelson Mandela is there. And do you know, नेल्सन मंडेला को प्रति महात्मा गांधी साउथ अफ्रीका में कहला जाता है. Okay, it's a very good thing is there. The Satyagraha has made in Champaran. First of all, Champaran Satyagraha, it is in Bihar. In Bihar, the farmers of Champaran region were forced to cultivate indigo. The cultivators suffered economically since they received fixed amount from the planters. Gandhiji went to Champaran in 1917. He organized the farmers in Champaran and launched agitation by following the way of Satyagraha. Gandhiji's first war of independence in India became successful and the farmers were given justice. Okay, that is the Champaran Satyagraha was the first Satyagraha of Mahatma Gandhiji in India. The farmers of Champaran in Bihar were forced to cultivate indigo. Indigo means nil, nilicha utpadan. Okay, they received a fixed amount from the plantation owners. Gandhiji organized all the farmers and launched Satyagraha against plantation owners. He was successful and the farmers were given justice in the first Satyagraha. The another Satyagraha is the Kheda Satyagraha is there. Due to constant famines in Kheda district, Gujarat. It is also in Gujarat. The crop had failed. Still, land tax was forcibly collected by the government in British government. Gandhiji suggested that the farmers should refuse to pay the tax. The farmers began the movement for scrapping of tax at Kheda in 1918. Gandhiji accepted the leadership of this movement. Within a short period of time, the government suspended the tax. This is the another achievement of the Mahatma Gandhi, that is the Kheda Satyagraha. In spite of continuous famines in Kheda, in Gujarat, Kheda district, in spite of continuous famines in Kheda district of Gujarat, the farmers were forced to pay land tax. Another thing is, in 1918, Gandhiji led Satyagraha for scrapping of the tax. And in a short period, the government suspended the tax. Now, this is the another second Satyagraha is there, and then another is the workers movement at Ahmedabad, that is the mill workers Satyagraha is there. Mill workers movement at Ahmedabad is there. During the First World War, there was a great inflation. Mill workers demanded for rise in salary, but the mill owners rejected this demand. As per Gandhiji's advice, the workers went on hunger strike. Finally, the mill owners had to back off and the salary of workers was increased. During the First World War, the inflation was very high. And at that time, the mill workers demanded for the rise in salary, which was refused by the mill owners. And on Gandhiji's advice, the workers went on hunger strike. This is the third one strike or the Satyagraha of Mahatma Gandhi is there. And the Gandhiji's advice is given to the workers and they went on the hunger strike is there. Due to this, the mill owners raised the salary of the workers. Satyagraha against Rowlatt Act. In the First World War, the Indians had helped the British. The Indians felt that after the World War is over, there will be a system of governance for taking decisions for well-being of the Indians. There was growing unrest among the Indians regarding the increasing prices, taxes, etc., etc. To suppress this discontent and to suggest measures about it, a committee was appointed under Sir Sidney Rowlatt. According to recommendation of this committee, a new law was passed without considering the opposition of Indian members in Central Legislative Assembly on 17 March 1919. This law came to be known as Rowlatt Act, and this act gave a right to the government to arrest anybody without any warrant or imprison without any trial. Appeal was prohibited against the punishment given through this act. The Indians called this act as Black Act. And a tide of anger aroused all over India against this act. Gandhiji launched a satyagraha against it. On 6th April 1919, he appealed to the Indians to follow Hartal all over India against this act. Indians responded to this appeal on a large scale. Now, the Indians had helped the British in the World War First. Very well, we have seen this. So they felt that after the war, the decisions regarding the well-being of Indians will be taken. The prices of daily commodities increased during the First World War. Very well. The inflation was very high. The burden of debt also increased. Then Rowlatt Act is there. The law was passed. On 17 March 1919, a new law was passed on the recommendation of Sir Sidney Rowlatt without considering the opposition of Indian members in Central Legislative Assembly. Only one man is there. Okay, he has passed this law. The Rowlatt Act was passed to check the growing discontent and suggest measures. And it authorized the government to arrest any Indian and imprison him without trial or unwarranted. No appeal could be made against the punishment given under this act. And this is very dangerous thing is that. And it was condemned by the Indians as Black Act. Gandhiji called upon the people to observe Hartal on 6th April to protest against this act, and all the Indians responded to this appeal on a large scale. Okay, now the another point is there, the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. A very dangerous incident was there in the history. Jallianwala Bagh. The movement that arose against the Rowlatt Act took over the fears from the province of Punjab. Amritsar became a main center of this movement. The government had started the spectre of suppression. Gandhiji was prohibited from entering the province of Punjab. General Dyer issued order of ban on public meeting in Amritsar. There was curfew was there. Important leaders like Dr. Satyapal and Dr. Kitchelu were arrested from their involvement in Amritsar Hartal case. As a protest against these, on 13th April 1919, on Baisakhi day was there. That is the Baisakhi is the festival is there. Okay, the Baisakhi day, the people of Amritsar assembled at the place named Jallianwala Bagh. General Dyer arrived with armed force. The place was enclosed from all sides and had only one small gate was there. General Dyer positioned his army and closed down the only gate, that is the small gate is there, also closed down. Without giving any prior notification to the disarmed innocent people were there in the Jallianwala Bagh, he ordered his soldiers to fire. 1660 rounds had been fired on these innocent people. The army continued firing until the ammunition was over. In this massacre, about 400 people, including men and women, were killed. Many people were wounded, injured. After firing, curfew was announced. After firing in Jallianwala Bagh, General Dyer was announced the curfew for there, and hence immediate treatment to the injured could not be made available. In entire Punjab, military law was enforced and many were sent to jail by the government. General Michael Dyer, governor of Punjab, was responsible for this massacre. All over India, there was protested against the act. As the protest against this massacre, Rabindranath Tagore gave away the title of Sir bestowed on him by the British government. Later, Indians demanded for inquiry of this massacre. Hence, the British government appointed the Hunter Commission is there. Okay. Now, this is the very dangerous incident was there. Okay. The discontent in Punjab because of Jallianwala Bagh massacre is there. Amritsar in Punjab became a main center of movement against Rowlatt Act, you know it very well. The British resorted suppressive measures in Punjab and did not give permission to Gandhiji to enter Punjab, completely prohibited. Banned is there. Public meeting in Amritsar were banned. Dr. Satyapal and Dr. Kitchelu were arrested in Amritsar Hartal case. The very dangerous incident was there, that is the Jallianwala Bagh massacre is there. On the occasion of Baisakhi, people gathered at Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar on 13th April 1919. It was enclosed, the Jallianwala Bagh was enclosed on all sides and had only one small gate was there. General Dyer deployed troops around the closed only gate. He ordered an unrestrained firing on the unarmed innocent people till the ammunition was war. About 400 men and women were killed and many people were injured. After the firing, curfew was imposed, so no immediate treatment could be given to the injured, to the people, common people, innocent people. The military law was enforced. General Michael O'Dwyer, the governor of Punjab, was completely responsible for this massacre. What is the effect of this Jallianwala Bagh massacre is there? The people all over India resented the action of Michael O'Dwyer. As a protest against the massacre, Rabindranath Tagore renounced the title Sir, which is given by the British government. Later, the Hunter Commission was appointed. The inquiry to this massacre is there. Okay. Now the next is the Killapath Moment was there. Okay. Now next point is that the Killapath Moment is there. Muslims all over the world regarded the ruler of Turkey as their religion leader. During the First World War, Turkey fought against the British to get the support to the Indians. Okay. Now, to get the support of the Indian Muslim in war, the British had assured that after the end of the war, Khalifa's empire will not be harmed. But after the end of First World War, England did not stick to the assurance. A tide of great discontent aroused among the Muslims. The movement started by Indian Muslims to support the Caliphs was called Killapath Moment. Gandhiji thought that on this problem, if the Hindus and Muslims come together and start the national movement, then the government can surely be brought to its senses. Therefore, Gandhiji supported the Killapath movement. The Killapath committee accepted Gandhiji's proposal of the following non-cooperation to the government. Hindu-Muslim unity was seen especially during this period. Now, what is Killapath movement is there? Okay, the ruler of Turkey was Khalifa, the religious leaders of the Muslim all over the world. To get the support of Indian Muslims in the First World War, the British gave false assurance of not hammering the Khalifa's empire, but they did not keep their word. It caused resentment and led to the Killapath movement by the Indian Muslims to support the Khalifa. Gandhiji extended support to the Killapath movement to promote Hindu-Muslim unity against the British. And Mahatma Gandhiji was of the opinion that with his unity, the government can be brought to its senses. What is the effect of the Killapath movement is there? A freedom movement began which marked the unity of Hindus and Muslims like never seen before. Gandhiji supported the Killapath movement and the Killapath committee in return extended the support of following non-cooperation to the government is there. Okay, now till till we will stop here. We can stop here because of uh, a lot of points we have seen here in this lesson. First of all, the role of Gandhiji in South Africa is there. Then Gandhiji arrives in India's. Then philosophy of Satyagraha, Champaran Satyagraha, Kheda Satyagraha. Then workers' movement in Ahmedabad, Satyagraha against Rowlatt Act. Then Jallianwala Bagh massacre is there. Then Killapath Moment, we have seen these points are there. The next point is, that is the non-cooperation movement is there. Okay, till we will stop here. In the next part of this lesson, we will start from non-cooperation movement is there. Okay, students, I think you can understand it very well. Just read it carefully and just try to understand whatever I have explained this lesson is there. Okay, thank you very much, student.